Yo! We're here. Sign in chat. Oh shit. Give me a second. We're here. Give me a second, just setting up chat. Okay, we're in. What's good? What is good? We are here. I'll turn my camera on in a second. Just because I'm doing something with my camera, I want to keep it. I want to keep it a secret. I want to keep it a surprise until it happens. Oh my god, I haven't streamed in ages. When was the last time I streamed? Last time I streamed was like... Oh my god, it was like 2 months ago. Fuck me. Yeah, we're here. We're back. We're gonna be... we're gonna be breaking down the recent Sparking Zero video. Which, by the way, I want to apologize for it being so fucking late. Oh my god. I was genuinely trying to get it out. I was trying to get it out before... Hold on, I'm gonna turn the music down just a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. That's a good level. I was genuinely trying to get the second Sparking Zero video out before the second DLC dropped, because I wanted to make a prediction that none of the DLCs would have fixed the game, and the game will probably die after the third DLC. But then the DLCs got delayed, and I thought, well, I don't really need to make that prediction. Everyone can probably see that that's the game's probably on the railroad to sunsetting right now. So, I waited a bit. I mean, like, I was still editing the video and doing as much as I can, but I was, like, constantly revising my script, especially after the second DLC dropped. Speaking of, let's just go to the second view. Hey! I made this layout yesterday. I'm actually really stupidly proud of it. Hello, Zwefla. Sexy edits. Thank you. Okay, so where's a good place to start? Well, I guess a good place to start would be the conception of this video. It would probably be the script. Let me just export that as like a PDF real quick. PDF. Just doing it as a PDF because I don't want to just expose my whole Google Drive. Oh no, don't add that to my fucking bookmarks bar. Just drag it out, please. Ugh. That's yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, how's that look? That looks like something. Okay, so this was like my... Actually, let me just double check. Are we actually live? We are, yep. Okay. So this was my original kind of script for the first video. It wasn't really much of a script. It was kind of just like bullet points. Here there was a script. I had scripted up to playing the Broly mission. Yeah, I scripted up to playing the Broly mission in BT3, and then everything after that was just fully winged on the fly, which you could probably surmise. I was watching that the first Sparking Zero video I did, and I was actually not embarrassed, but I was actually like so fucking annoyed at myself how many like long pauses I kept in and how unstructured all my thoughts were. Like I kind of saved it in the edit, but holy shit, that first video, yeah, I was just rambling. That video could have used some better structure, and I think that's indicative of all the little Comic Sans notes I put everywhere. Which I did for this video as well, so clearly, maybe structuring it didn't work. Maybe I just needed to think about what I was saying a bit more. Anyway, we go into the second Sparking Zero video. I just started the second script on the same document, just on a new page. And this one I did actually fully script out, and I tried to stick to the script as much as possible. It's a lot of pages. How many words is this actually? Can I Control Shift C? Oh, that's inspect element. That's no. That's not what we want. That's that. Hold on. I've still got the Google Drive open. I can check here. Sorry, Control Shift C is usually the shortcut you use in Google Docs to see like word count. That script was 3,374 words. So not too bad. Not too bad. I've wrote larger scripts for videos that never got made. So that's always good fun. That's always good fun when you work a long time on a video and it never gets fucking published. That's happened a handful of times. That almost happened to the Halo Wiimote video, but the reason for I can't really share. Anyway, so we're gonna go through this video. Let's go through previously, I guess. Previously on Papa Yosh. So I reanimated the ending from the last video. I was considering just copy pasting like the ending from the last one and putting it back in here shot for shot. But I thought that was lame. I thought if we were doing another video, I may as well remake it pretty good. Also because I wasn't really happy with what I had done with the last video. In terms of like, hold on, I'll pull it up. In terms of the like animation side of things. Like I was happy I tried, but I thought the execution left something to be desired. Because I was really just moving PNGs across the screen. It wasn't until the end where it got like a little bit creative, but yeah, if I just if I can we'll drag this across here. We'll do a quick little reminisce. Like some of this I'm okay with, like this I'm okay with, this I'm okay with. All of this I was okay with. But then like stuff like this where it's just like a PNG getting dragged across the screen. Like yeah, like this. Where like he looks happy but like he's meant to be like charging into battle or whatever. Wasn't really a fan, and like a lot of this like looks really janky and the actions are unclear. Which was by design, like I thought like it looked funny. But like there was also stuff like this where I needed this like kind of specific pose where he's looking backwards but he still has like the tennis racket in hand. Yeah. And the only time I really broke the model, so to speak, is like here. Which I do actually fuck with this shot heavy, but it could have been a bit better. Like you can see like there's these harsh lines where I cut the arm out of the original render. Color correcting across the board for every like segmented body part was kind of whatever. There was a lot of good creativity in this original one, but I wanted to really test myself and try and make something a bit better. And I had hoped I wanted to kind of, because I didn't do that much animating in the first section. It all kind of happened at the back section here, where you can see in the timeline there's a lot more going on over here. It's kind of a fucking mess, honestly. But don't worry, we'll get there. This will probably be like a half-hour to an hour stream, by the way. So get some water, get some food. We're gonna be here for a while. So, oh shit. We're gonna turn that down. Yeah, so it's gonna be really laggy, by the way. My computer is not the best. I'm also running this in full quality for some reason. My computer quality is not the best, and streaming definitely isn't helping, so this is gonna be, the playback's gonna be really laggy, especially in parts like this where there's a lot of moving parts. But, anyway, let me show you the assets folder. So this is the assets folder. This houses all the assets for the video. You'll see here there's a folder called Yoshi assets. If we take a look inside, it's comprised of all these Yoshi renders, these like official Yoshi renders that I have. And then in these little folders are cutouts that I've made. So clean plates that I've made for use in the videos. This is the bodies one. It has a lot of clean cut bodies. This is just GIFs. I only used this GIF in the video. And I only used the first frame of it. I didn't use any of the other GIFs. I could have probably used this GIF in the same way I did in the previous video, as like his like transformation power up, because that is a really good GIF for that. But I didn't want to retread all great. I tried to stay away from these super pixelated ones as much as I could. I didn't intend for that to be the case, but I tried to stick to these kind of higher quality renders as much as possible, just for a more consistent look. These are the hair sprites for later in the video. I think these are all, from Dokkan Battle. I think they're from Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. I think it's GT Vegeta. I'm not sure. I don't know where this one is from. This might also be from the same sheet. I'm not 100%. And then this strand of hair is from this Dokkan Battle sprite, which I guess is like the Hirudegarn movie, Goku Dokkan unit. I don't know. I don't play Dokkan Battle. I hate Dokkan Battle. I hate gacha games. Fuck you for making me reinstall Legends. Here are all the hands that I cut out. Some of these are custom made. For example, I took the arm from this render, and I took the I took the hand from this render, and I combined them into making like this hand, which I used for like Kamehamehas and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that going around where I'm mixing and mashing hands and stuff. This is another one where I think I'm using the same arm for this one, but I'm using, I think this hand comes from his Yoshi's Smash Ultimate render. And I've like color corrected it a little as well so it matches the arm better. Not perfectly. I'm not really that good at color correction, so take what you will. We've got a bunch of cutout heads here, nothing special, and a bunch of cutout legs, which I barely used. I thought I was going to use these legs a lot more, but I think I only really used them in 2 cuts, because I was expecting to have more shots with the body. Oh, actually, there is something kind of cool about some of these renders. So, let's bring up the tennis racket one again. This is one of the only renders I could find where Yoshi was like... It was a 3D render, and the camera was placed like behind Yoshi. And I needed that for a lot of dynamic compositions and posing and stuff, but it just didn't... Like, this was one of the only renders I could find. It had this annoying fucking tennis racket in it. So, well, I worked some magic. Now, I make all these photo edits and stuff in paint.net. I don't have Photoshop, and I'm not really good at cutting stuff out of photos and clone stamping and all that shit. Paint.net doesn't even have that. I think you can get that as a plugin. But I tried to make do. And when you zoom in, you can clearly see that, like, I very shoddily removed the racket and tried to color it back in, and I wasn't very good at blending. I don't really know how to blend. But if, you know, you zoom it out and you take it from the perspective that, like, this is, like, probably the size it's going to be in the video, and it's going to be, like, stacked with effects and stuff, and it's, like, moving around, you don't really notice it. You might have trouble noticing it on stream right now because I've got a NTSC filter on the computer because I think it, like, kind of looks cool. That's why you're getting all this, like, color bleed and stuff. Like, all these purples around. But yeah, so I removed the racket from here. I removed the racket from here. And I had to partially remake this, like, finger here. I think I put another render here. Like, I put part of a hand from another render. Again, it doesn't blend that well, but when it's that small, you don't really notice it that much, especially when in motion. Oh, and this shell is new as well. Just because I wasn't really confident in being able to, like, get the... What would you call this? Like, the rind of the shell, the white part, and the red part. I wasn't really confident in being able to do that in a way that wasn't noticeable, so I just put a new shell there. Yeah, there was a lot of that going around. Like, did I do that for... Yeah, here. You see, usually there's, like, a second Yoshi arm here or whatever, but I just, like, removed it, colored in the areas. This one is a little bit better of a blend job. Doesn't look that much on stream, because, like, the stream is boosting the colors a little, but, like, on my monitor, at least, this is a bit harder to tell, especially when zoomed out. This one isn't that good, admittedly, but, you know, trying my best. Never really done any of this before. Do I have any other renders where I did something? Yep, there was like a Yoshi arm across the body here. I got rid of. I didn't actually select the area for this render correctly. So you can see there's a little bit of like green kind of like dust. That's because I'm trying to fill it in with the brush tool. And I forgot to like just select this area. So now this render has forever got like a little bit of like kind of like a glow to it. I thought that was kind of funny. Did I have to do anything for this render? Yeah, this render partially covered the red shell. So what I ended up doing, and this looks like dog shit, I know. I took half of this shell that wasn't, like, covered by the arm, and I just duped it and flipped it and had it do this. And it left this really annoying anti-aliased outline, which I think... in the video, I masked it out every time I used this body, I think, but it was just really annoying. I wish I'd caught that sooner. Now, on the face of it, you might think that the only thing that's missing from this render is the head, right? And, you know, you wouldn't be... Yeah, I wouldn't call you an idiot for thinking that, but... where is it? Where is it? Oh, I don't actually have it. Oh, wait, that's because this was a decision I made. This was one I had to make for the previous video. Give me a second just to find the... Yep, there it is. This is originally a render from Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. He has ice skates on his shoes. So I removed the skates, and I brushed in, tried to recreate the shading for the areas that would be like missing, like the holes that would be missing from getting rid of the skates. And I think for the most part it's okay. If you like zoom all the way in, you can see, but when it's perfectly zoomed in, when it's zoomed all the way out, you can't see. I don't think I ended up using this sprite in the video. I used it in the first video. I don't think I ended up using it for this video though. I used its arms a lot. Oh no, actually, I think I used this for the start of the engagement. I think I did. Oh well. Bodies. Yeah, this one's also got like a tennis... Oh, fucking hell. Okay, I did not alias... Jesus Christ, the selections on this were terrible. And there's also just a white fucking... What the hell? I don't know how I didn't catch any of that. This one had a tennis racket in it as well that I got rid of. And I got rid of the head as well. This was kind of pushing it because like this is like a scan from a magazine, obviously, and it's so stylistically different to everything else. But I used it in one shot, and I think in that one shot it works pretty well and it's pretty funny. This one's funny. I really thought I was gonna use this body. Look how small it is, bro. Look at all the jagged edges. It's really hard to find renders of Yoshi forward facing the camera. Like, I wanted a nice forward-facing body to use for things like, you know, like Kamehamehas or other type of things. I think that particular one I just showed off was from this Mario Party 6 one, which I didn't use this video. I didn't use this one. I used it in the last video. I didn't use it in this one, though. And then there's this one, which isn't much better. Anyway, that's the Yoshi renders. I'll get into all these other assets when they come up. Also, peep the thumbnail. I'm really proud of this thumbnail. I don't know about you guys. I think this thumbnail looks epic. Okay, so let's go through. So, yeah, obviously I wanted to push what I could do animation-wise. This is a lot of, I think, puppet animation. And I wanted to kind of make that look... Well, I wanted to just do better animation for this video, so... I'll just, like, RAM preview this real quick. Yeah, you can see. It's, like, selling the impact like that. We got the one from this perspective. What do we got here? The impact frames were always a joy to make. I enjoyed making the impact frames. Okay, here we go. This is my first time trying to do the puppet animation. This was like, this reanimating this whole intro was like a test into whether this idea would work. This was my, if I couldn't get this to look nice and look good, I would have dropped it. I would have dropped it, and I would have done something similar to what I did in the first video. But I'm so happy I was able to make it look kind of good. And that I was like, okay, this is worth it. This can work. So, that's what we did. Well, that's what I did. Yep, going back to Earth. Getting the phone ding, the notification. So we're calling back to the first video a bit here. I mean, we're reusing literally some of the animations. This is the exact same phone animation as the one in the previous video, but I just swapped the interface to show my videos. 58k views, by the way. That's pretty good. Thank you so much for that. You guys made me like $250. I'm very happy about that. Money, money, money. Did you know you could become a channel member? Oh, we get to hear. Okay. I say it in the video. So many of you motherfuckers left a comment about like how the Sparking series is called the like it's called Sparking. It's not Budokai Tenkaichi. I don't care. I don't fucking. Give me a second. You see this? What does the cover say? It's BT3. To me, it is. I know in Japan, Sparking Meteor, that's fine. I respect the Japanese. But, to me, it's called BT. Regardless, you know, I wasn't talking about was the game part of the fucking BT series. I was talking about, like, you know, does it live up to the series? Can it be considered part of the series if it's, like, mid or whatever? Which, a lot of people missed. Considering I've got a lot of, I've got a, oh yeah, I had to screenshot, like, every comment. I'm not gonna show the comment screenshot folder, because I don't want to, put any of the commenters on blast by showing their names or whatever. It's the reason I censored all the commenters' names throughout the video. The comment section on the last video, for the most part, was fine. Was able to have, like, for the most part, able to have, like, pretty good discussions and conversations and stuff. But some of you amongst yourself were just like kind of really toxic. And I didn't want to instigate that any further. At least I didn't want you guys to instigate it. So I covered up everyone's commenting. I covered up everyone's screen name in the video because I didn't want you to like go and hunt them out or find their YouTube channel and fucking, you know, whatever. I just finished watching the fucking moments like a couple of weeks before finishing this. I had just finished all of Gino Samuel's Chris Chan documentary. So the internet being like a force is in the back of my mind when I fucking create shit forever now. So that's good. Hey. Here's a title screen. I think this is alright. I didn't really know what to do with the title screen. Not really good with title screens. Usually when I do a title screen for a video, I try to match the theming of the original like title graphic. So like I'll take the Halo Reach video for example. When I put the subtitle The Australian Experience underneath it, I tried my best to like match the font and the spacing and the coloring and the timing, like the fade in fade out of the original Halo Reach title when, you know, it fades in when you play the game. And I tried doing that for other stuff as well, like thumbnails and whatnot. For this one though, it was like I didn't really know what to do because like the BT3 and the Sparking Zero title, you know, the designs are so implicit, they're so different. And like even like just the Dragon Ball part of the logo, like this is all kind of block colors where there's a lot of gradients here. The outline widths are completely different. I don't know. So this was a pretty late addition into the video. This kind of, you know, this screen. So I was getting really tired of it. So I just threw something together and I said that'll have to do because it's pissing me off and I didn't really know what to do. This bit, we don't need to talk about this. This is just a whatever called open. You guys left a lot of comments. Thank you, Zefla. I love this comment. Sparkling water. That's actually so fucking good. What do I talk about here? The DLC. Ugh. Yeah. I still don't know if I'm gonna buy the DLC. Like, part of me wants to buy the DLC just so I can see what people have made in custom battle mode, custom games mode. And I also want it so I can do custom games mode with these characters as well. Like, now that we have, like, Vegeta Mini, you could do a fucking, you could do, like, a... I don't know, you could do a alternate story custom games mode where it's, like, Vegeta is sent to Earth. That'd be a bit... Oh, maybe you could do an alternate story where both Vegeta and Goku are sent to Earth after Planet Vegeta blows up. It'd be a bit hard, but you could do it. You could do it. I think, at least. It'd be cool. It would be cool. Yeah, DLC looks good, though. This game looks good. I should say. I do kind of dick on the game's visuals a bit in this video, but I do want to say I still think the game looks really good. I think it's kind of stylistically inconsistent. But for the most part, I fuck with what the game's doing. Bless me. Bless me. Online for this game is dead, by the way. Like... I tried getting an online match during peak time, and I was waiting 20 minutes, and I just gave up. This isn't the full 20 minutes waiting time, but the full recording's about 20 minutes. There is 1,291 people in game right now. That's... How many people playing Halo Infinite right now? It's doing worse than Halo Infinite! Everyone hates Halo Infinite! Oh... That's not good. That's not very good. That's pretty bad, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know about the online. I feel like Bandai banked heavily on the online being the new thing in the new Tenkaichi that would make this game really good. And, you know, miss. You missed. You missed. Giant cutscenes are pretty cool. But I'm still pissed that you can't, like, they're only... The only cutscenes that'll take the giant characters are the selfie one with only one character, and it's a specific giant category one as well. Their intro, their victory screen, and their super attack. That's the only scenes giants can be used in. I still want scenes where I can put, like, a normal character and a giant character in frame. I think Sparking Zero should have just given you camera control. They should have just let you, like, map out the camera and make some, like, cinematics and stuff. I still think Customs Game Mode is really limiting, and, like, there's an argument that, like, of course, limitations breed creativity. 100%. But this is really rigid, and kind of forces you to make your stories in one way, which I wouldn't call that a limitation. I would just call that kind of creatively controlling. So yeah, whatever. This is just a screenshot from my script. The warp effect. I'm really glad that this looks decent in the video, because in the preview window it looks jittery like this. So I'm glad that looked good in the video. Yep, this is, yep. Actually, I learned how to do this on the fly. Alt D0. There we go. Yeah, this is, you know, people just being mean and calling me an idiot for not knowing BT. Sorry, Sparking. Whatever. Stupid. What's this? Oh yeah, this one guy is Ultimate Tenkaichi not to be talked about or something. I got a lot of comments about Ultimate Tenkaichi, which was hilarious. Wasn't that game's name decided via fan poll or something? Like, they had made the game, and when they were localizing it to the West, they put a poll up saying, like, what should it be called? And people voted Ultimate Tenkaichi and then got mad when it wasn't a Tenkaichi game. It's just, you know, we Dragon Ball fans, we can't... we can't read. It's just BT4 nearly 15 years later, an entirely different industry than when it last came out. This guy is kind of right, but he's going about it in a smart-ass way, as if, like, that wasn't the fucking, you know, opinion I came to at the end of the last video. They deadass called it Budokai Tenkaichi 4 in the reveal trailer. They didn't do this, by the way. They said a new Budokai Tenkaichi begins. I guess pretty funny. Just saying shit. Nothing in the video show was in BT4. Sequels are inherently just the same game with a couple added features. Just look at the difference between BT1 and BT2. A lot of people clowned on me in this guy's replies for not having played BT1 and 2. I wasn't talking about those games. I was talking BT3 to Sparking Zero. Sorry. But I will argue that in the case of the BT series, they are literally the same game with a couple added features and, like, reworks and stuff. Like, the BT sequel series pre-Sparking Zero are iterative of what came before it. And that includes copying over a lot of the, you know, same models and the same voice acting and effects and stuff like that. Things change, of course. Like, there's a difference in the core and gameplay from BT1 to BT3. But, you know, if you showed a newcomer the two games side by side, I don't know. Could they tell you, like, who is who? Fucking, I don't know, bro. Who knows? Who knows? Very nice. That's really weird. Sorry, I'm just noticing on my stream, my OBS here. It's giving me a bunch of notifications for, like, it's deleted all my previous YouTube notifications from, like, the streams I did a couple months ago. But it's got every Twitch notification that I ever got, ever. From, like, 3 years ago when I used to stream on Twitch. I'm just gonna filter those out real quick, because I don't stream on Twitch. Yeah, so I don't really know what this guy's talking about, because sure, every game is an evolution of the game that came before it, but I feel the Sparking Zero series is extremely iterative of what came before it, down to reusing assets and stuff like that. Sparking Zero really is the only one that actually breaks the mold with new, tries to change up the gameplay for... Some will argue for worse, some will argue for the better. I think it's kind of like a 50-50. There's some good additions, but there's some bad omissions. So, AHW, remember me? Yeah, I do. So, yeah. I didn't really think, like, the game was bad because it didn't have a lot of things from BT3. I thought the game was bad because I thought it lost a bit of its...
Mate, you got a power?
Hold on. Oh, sorry about that. Jesus Christ. What was I talking about? I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, no, I didn't think Sparking Zero was bad because it was missing things from BT3. I thought Sparking Zero was bad because it lost a lot of its identity from the Budokai Tenkaichi series beforehand, and I felt like a lot of that was due to it being designed for a online audience. Okay, sorry, I was just testing my fucking mute buttons. I forgot I had my mute hot switch. And there were other things I talked about in the video that I thought just made it lose a bit of its identity, and now it's just it's less of a Sparking game than previous entries. It still is, obviously, but there's a lot missing. It's kind of dumbed down. Yeah, the game's still lacking single player content, which I didn't bring up anywhere because, like, I wanted to bring something new to the discussion, but I agree with people who say that the game is lacking single player content. I guess I'll just talk about a lot of these points that I've put in here. Oh, this guy reporting me for misinformation was pretty funny, because that's how reporting works. Yeah, a lot of people called me delusional without refuting any of my points. Okay, commenters, chat, angry people. If you're gonna call me delusional or an asshole or anything, attach a reason, dude. Like, share your opinion. Don't just say you're delusional and then, like, not support your idea at all. I want to clear the air here because I say these are, like, Dragon Ball games and this is, like, a Budokai Tenkaichi game. Because I know... I know a lot of people... when it comes to these, like, arena fighters or, like, Budokai or Raging Blast or whatever, a lot of people like to draw the distinction between, like, Dragon Ball fanservice-y game and kind of more traditionally focused fighting game. That was not the comparison I was trying to make here. I was saying Dragon Ball game as in, like, just all-inclusive, like, any Dragon Ball game. And then, yeah, this is a Tenkaichi game. I think I say bad Tenkaichi game here. But I'm in no way insinuating that I think BT3 is a bad Dragon Ball game. I was talking about Sparking Zero. God, I miss my End of Z Goku costume, bro. Oh, Jordan, I recently jumped back into Tenkaichi 2 and 3 on Wii. Really hesitant on buying Sparking Zero. Like, I would say, I said at the end of this video, if you don't take any issues with what I complained about in the video, you will probably enjoy Sparking Zero. But if you did resonate with some of the things that I said in the video, and there were some things in that video that you think would hinder your enjoyment of the game, I guess I would recommend steering clear of it then. Do you remember me? Yeah, I remember you. Of course I remember you. I remember you from the Nuzlocke days, bro. This really confused me. They did custom battles for the first DLC pack. Like 3 custom battle kind of story things. They didn't do it for the Daima pack. Which is interesting. Maybe they're waiting for... I don't want to get into like the speculatory kind of like, oh, maybe they're doing this, maybe they're doing that. Because I really genuinely... I hate when people do that. They speculate about nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they speculate about things that are unsubstantiated and have, you know, no precedent for being proven, and they're kind of just speculating out of like desperation for something new, which I understand. But you gotta kind of take a back seat to these things and be like, if there's no custom games mode, like stories in this one, and this DLC was rushed out, there probably won't be any in the next one. I'd like to think there would be, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they only did it in the first one because maybe they thought they had some extra time because this one was releasing on time. And then when it came to DLC 2 and eventually DLC 3 and they had to delay it, maybe custom game things were one of the first things they scrapped. So, unfortunate, but, you know, I hit 100 subs and I got back into playing Nintendo 64 Smash. That's good, dude. I'm happy for you. Yeah, I still think this sucks. The music packs and the fact that you can still buy the ultimate upgrade pack. I didn't put it in the video, but on Steam, you can now buy the V-Jump Aura thing. If anyone doesn't know what that is, before the game released, in editions of V-Jump, there was like a code or something that you could get that would give you a capsule it would give you a code to a capsule you could redeem. So you redeem the code and you get a capsule. And you could equip it on characters and it would change the shape of their aura from like the standard aura one to like a V aura. And you can buy that on Steam. Let me check actually. How much is that on Steam? DLC. Browse. There it is. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero Victory Pack. Includes the V-Jump design aura and victory power. It's $1.50. It's nothing, but arguably like should be in the game, dude. I'm sorry. Like, you know. I also didn't realize that this was here. I somehow missed this pack when I was first looking at the DLCs. This is, yeah, martial arts pack. 3 characters early unlock, and the Super Sparking capsule. I never noticed this. There's also the season pass. I wish I talked about the season pass a bit more, because it's more than half the price of the game. And that kind of just blows my fucking mind. Yeah. You know, we don't really need to talk about the DLC pricing. Everyone knows the pricing for this game is... Like, it's a Bandai Namco anime game. The pricing's gonna be fucked, but... Whatever. Yeah, the online qualifiers, blah, 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 blah. So I guess I can talk about kind of my process for editing this kind of content like this. I don't normally do these kind of commentary-esque videos, so I'm still not really sure how to edit them. I kind of just put stuff on screen. I don't want to do a super visual kind of commentary, like with a lot of flashing punchy shit all over the screen. And like a lot of complex animations and stuff, because the point of a commentary is for you to hear what I'm saying and, you know, actually fucking think about it and have a back and forth conversation with either me or, you know, whoever else. And so I kind of just put stuff on screen and hope that that suffices and helps, you know, helps the process, because like you can visually see what I'm talking about and it's not like skewed or, you know, it's not a fucking punchy, shitty animation or whatever. It's inspired by that who's that YouTuber? Skitty Bitty. She made the that long ass Tears of the Kingdom video. Actually, I'll find her. Not that she needs a shout out or anything, because I'm fucking small time compared to her. I'll just drag this over here. Yeah, this channel, she made the I hate Tears of the Kingdom video. I was trying to go for something like that where it's not super, you know, it's not super visually cluttered or anything like that. And it just gets to the point. That's one of my main inspos for this type of shit. Another inspo is Noodle. But of course his stuff is like way more animated. What are we talking about here? Oh yeah, the sparking. Yeah. Don't fuck with Dragon Ball fans. We can't read. Here we go. Animation discussion. Woohoo! I want to just say I'm still a fucking novice when it comes to talking about animation. I watch a lot of anime AJ, and I used to make AMVs all the time, so I kind of noticed animators' traits a little bit. So I'm not an expert by any means when it comes to talking about animation, but like, you know, I know this is Naotoshi Shida. I know this is Z era Yamamuro under whoever. Was he under anyone at this point? Like, was he? I forget if this was like in-house Toei or if he was working under a. Oh, what studio he was? No, because. Oh man, I can't even remember if in-house Toei people worked on OG Dragon Ball or if it was all like outsourced, but you know, given to other companies and whatnot, like Studio Cockpit or Studio Bone. I don't think Studio Bones ever worked on Dragon Ball. I don't know why I said that. I do want to say, I was scared as fuck to put animated examples of Dragon Ball shit in a... Oh, I just noticed a fucking coloring department mistake here that I never noticed before. They've colored this part of Goku's shirt in orange when it was blue before. And that holds for a while, and then it goes back to blue. And then also, his shirt. What the fuck? How have I never noticed this before? His shirt here changes shading completely. It takes the color from his belt. I think that was meant to be when the, like, wind thing pushes by. But also, the part of his shirt, like his blue shirt that's exposed, and the part of his orange shirt that's ripped have been colored in skin. As well as the background here. What the fuck? Okay, well, if you wanted any evidence that Dragon Ball Super was a rushed show, there you go, I guess. That's crazy. I've never noticed that in motion before. Wow. Never noticed. I wonder if that's fixed in the Blu-ray release. Because I know for the Battle of Gods and for the Resurrection F sagas, they fixed some of the animation in the Blu-rays. Yeah, no, I was scared as fuck to put any animated Dragon Ball shit in the video. Because I was so scared that the video was going to get content claimed by Toei. You know, things like Totally Not Mark or Team 4-Star and if anyone remembers Lesbi Epic, Thom, from the AMV days, watching, like, those channels get taken down, fucking put the, like, fear in me to ever put, like, any Dragon Ball shit on YouTube ever again. Apparently Toei's been getting pretty lax with it, but they did just take down all of Anime AJ's Daima animation breakdowns. And almost got his fucking channel deleted, which would have been such a loss to the weird Venn diagram that is, like, animation fans and Dragon Ball fans. So, I was scared as fuck to put any animation in here. And you'll see why at the end as well, why I was scared as hell. But the video's been up for a day, and it hasn't been content ID'd yet, so I think we're fine. It's not really an issue of, like, I'm scared about, like, the monetization or whatever, but if a video gets demonetized, it tends to not do well in the algorithm, because it's not advertiser-friendly, and so the video doesn't really get... You know, YouTube kind of sees that as a failed video and doesn't push it because it's not making the site money or whatever, you know. Stuff like that. So I don't really care about, like, the monetization. Again, the last video took me ages to make, like a month or two, and I made like $250 AUD off it before taxes. So, you know, we take these, we win. Like, you win some, you lose some. It is what it is. What do we have here? Fighters. Yeah, there's my very vague, nuanced, uninformed animation evaluation. I'm not an animator. Like, I animate some things in my YouTube videos, but that's, like, different. You know, I have some animation later on that I'd show, but it is heavily referenced, so it's not, you know, whatever. BT3 still looks closer to the anime. Yes. I guess they went for the awful way Super did their characters. A lot of people are still really mad at, not Super. Everyone's mad at Super's designs, like Dragon Ball Super. That's fine, but a lot of people still really hate Broly, Dragon Ball Super Broly designs, which I think is interesting. Oh yeah, the Natoshi Shida styled effects work here. Interesting. Yeah, this is, look at these harsh, like, shading lines and stuff. And Vegeta's one of the only, like, Vegeta Super is one of the only characters that dips into this three-tone shading. And it's literally just because that's how he looked in this one action scene in the Broly movie. It's kind of fucking crazy. Water is good. I wish I could change this claim I made about Piccolo looking like Minoru Maeda design. I've never seen Minoru Maeda's designs. And for some reason, I assumed Minoru Maeda's designs were kind of very similar to Toriyama's, but just a little rounder and softer. So, I have no idea. I probably should have pulled up the clip of Piccolo firing his special beam cannon from the anime, but I didn't for some reason. I don't think it would have made for a better comparison. This Piccolo is what he looks like in... I wouldn't even say this looks like Shintani Piccolo. This kind of just looks like Dragon Ball Super Piccolo. It's a little bit. I'm mainly focusing on, like, the eyebrow, like, peeking out from the side of the head, but it actually does a lot here. I think in this one specific moment, the eyebrows do protrude from the head and they look really good. But I think, in general play, his eyebrows stay mainly within the face shape, and it kind of just looks like Super Era Piccolo and kind of boring, but with slanted eyes, so... I don't know. At least he's got the fucking eye squint, so that's nice. I wish they could have stretched his face more, but... Yeah, that's just how Piccolo looked in early Z. He doesn't look like that anymore. I'm still super mad we don't have this color scheme. I need to double check. But I don't think Frieza has a variation of him in-game without his armor. I would need to double check. Not that it matters, really. But I think BT3 had it. Xenoverse has it. You guys like Xenoverse, right? Yeah, fucking whatever, Glazing the Goat. Yeah, I mean, okay, I just... BT3 looks more consistent. It's more visually appealing to me. It helps as well that this is an era of Dragon Ball art that I just like more, flat out. I like the older designs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like Minoru Maeda's designs. I like Nakatsuru's designs, and I like the older Yamamuro designs. I think Dragon Ball visually is in a good place right now. Like Shintani's Broly stuff, I still think looks really good. Chikashi Kubota's stuff that he did for the superhero movie is really good and really detailed. And wasn't Shintani doing, like, the designs for the side characters on that as well, I think? I don't know, actually. I don't really know. All the Daima stuff looks really good. That was, like, a combination of Toriyama and Nakatsu, right? I think? I'm not entirely sure. That stuff all looks really good. Dragon Ball visually is in a really good spot right now. Like, it's not in a consistent spot. We're kind of changing styles here and there. But the styles that we've been changing to are all really good, I think. I wouldn't mind Dragon Ball being a series that changes styles every now and again. As long as the styles are good. Tragically, the subject is very nuanced. I wish I read this comment, like, more thoroughly before voicing it, because the guy very explicitly talks about how he hates that character transformations have their own slots. Instead of being in BT3, where you'd click the character and then it would show you your slots. But there's a mode to do that in Sparking Zero now. So this whole point is kind of moot. Could have just gotten rid of it. I'm still forever salty that we got a bunch of super characters and basically all of the OG Dragon Ball characters got gutted. But, you know. Is what it is. This guy's saying that fucking alpha products get real. That's not how alpha products work. You don't just push out your alpha product unless it's known to everyone that it's, you know, an early access alpha. That's not how that works. Legends, yeah, I fucking hate Legends. My, fucking... I'm actually pissed about this. I have, like, I think a quarter of all the units in Legends. I played Legends at launch, and I played it for maybe a year or 2 or 3 years, and then I stopped playing it because I wasn't finding it that fun. I wasn't playing the online stuff. I was only really playing the story mode. I wasn't really interested in playing online. I don't know, what the fuck do you even do in Legends? I don't know. I found the game boring after a while. But I started my recording when I was scrolling from the top of the roster to the bottom, and my recording corrupted, so I only have it from, like, about down here, where this is just a bunch of units I don't have. Which is very annoying. But, whatever. I mean, just, yeah. Really unfortunate gacha roll where I fucking lose here. I did, like, 2 or 3 gacha rolls, and I lost every single one. So, I mean, I got this Goku that I don't think I had, so... kind of cool. What else is here? Oh, this guy calling me spoiled and delusional. Yeah, fuck off. How about that? 10 games worth of content. If you could play a game that has 10 games worth of content, that's crazy. The most I can think of, 10 games worth of content. The best I can think of for that is, like, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on PS3 that has... you know, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. But that's 3 games worth of content, so... I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, buddy. What am I talking about here? Oh, yeah. Am I a game? No. I wish I talked about more in the original recording. I wish I talked more about how I wouldn't mind the game being delayed for another year so they could add more content and stuff. Here's the thing. Here's the caveat with that argument, though, right? Just because a game is delayed doesn't mean they're gonna add, you know, more content. It doesn't mean they're gonna... And it especially doesn't mean that they're gonna add the content that you want to the game. I think a lot of us, me included, a lot of us hope that, you know, a game that we like, if we know a game is struggling, we hope that the game is delayed because we think that'll magically make the game, you know, better, more full of content, more, you know, more of the content that we want. It's not the case. The game is going to be delayed so that they can finish making the content they originally planned to do and bug testing and bug fixing and stuff like that. So, while I would have liked this game to be delayed for more than a year, because the game has the potential to be the best, you know, Budokai Tenkaichi game of all time. I don't think a delay would have helped that much. It would have helped with the development of, like, the DLC and stuff. I don't think it would have helped that much, though, in the long term. I think it would have resulted in largely the same game we got, but with a couple more bug fixes and stuff. Maybe neutral wouldn't, you know, online, you know, fighting neutral wouldn't have been dog shit. But, yeah, we really don't know. Also, I didn't talk about it in the video, but I want to talk about it here, because I've seen this opinion everywhere online. A lot of people think the game was rushed for Daima. I don't see the argument there at all. I don't see the argument that this game was rushed because of Daima, to meet with the Daima release window. Dragon Ball had, like, its most successful financial year ever last year. Like, from last year to this year. Sparking Zero was a large factor in that, of course, but a lot of things released in Dragon Ball. And also, departments talk to each other, guys. Like, Daima was in production for, what, 2 years? 3 years, I think? The people steering the ship, like, on Daima, talk to the people steering the ship on Sparking Zero. They talk to the people steering the ship on Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. They talk to the people steering the ship on Legends, on Dokkan Battle, on Xenoverse. Every, like, game that's doing Daima stuff is being shared in on the development of the TV anime. Because that's, you know, they're in the know. They have to be in the know. Do you honestly think that the people working on Sparking Zero are, you know, they have no idea what's happening with Daima? And they're waiting, like, you know, they only learn about Super Saiyan 4 when the rest of the world learns about Super Saiyan 4, and then they start developing the... No, dude. No. Not in the slightest. Are you for real? These things are done so far in advance. Of course, like, games are rushed all the time, and, you know, crunch, and Dragon Ball especially is not without producer planning faults. I mean, just look at Dragon Ball Super. But do you honestly think that these things are not thought of and planned, like, a year or two in advance? This game, specifically, from what we know, what, had, like, 4 or 5 years in the oven? Be so for real that you think this game was delayed for Daima. No. Oh, sorry, rushed out for Daima. No. It wasn't. It was not rushed out for Daima. I think I was saying delayed for Daima back there. I meant to say rushed out for Daima, if I said delayed. This game was not rushed for Daima, dude. Like, come on. Especially when the game launched with one Daima character, and it was Goku, and he couldn't even go Super Saiyan. Like, no. There was cross-branding, of course. Like, Daima was popular because it was starting, but that wasn't, you know, the game wasn't rushed for that. That's not the case. Yeah, mods are cool. I haven't delved into Sparking Zero mods. The only mods, actually, now's a good time to bring it up. I used 2 mods in the creation of this video. Ooh, where's my OBS going? Here it is. I used Reshade. I didn't put any shaders on or anything. I used Reshade to get rid of the HUD in game, so I could take screenshots like this with no HUD elements. So I used Reshade for that, and I used Unreal Engine Unpacker, Unreal Engine 5 Unpacker, which is made by Unpacker. Sorry, I don't remember who Reshade is made by, but you know Reshade. Like, you know who made Reshade. Fuck, I don't remember who made the Unreal Engine 5 Unpacker. Is it Unpacker? No, not Unpacker, Unlocker. Who made it? Who made it? This guy, Otis. Otis underscore INF. This guy's Unreal Engine 5 unlocker was really useful in the creation of the video because I used it to place a camera in the video, and it let me go around the Sparking Zero map and take all these screenshots of the map that I used in the ending segment of the video. That's right. I went around the map, turned off all the HUD, and flew around the map and took pictures and planned out where I wanted the battle to take place. This was way after I actually did all the animating for the battle, by the way. So I did all the animating for the battle, and then I took all the screenshots that would dictate, you know, where the fuck it would take place. Which is a really ass-backwards way of doing it. But, you know. Not really much to talk about there. I ain't gonna call you Papa. I agree with the logic, but I agree with the title, but not the logic you used to get to that. Okay, this is a game speed thing. I didn't want to harp too much on game speed. A lot of you got really toxic last video about game speed when it came to Budokai, Sparking Zero, Raging Blast, Xeno. Yeah, I don't care. I don't fucking care. I don't play these games competitively. I play them very casually, especially in this footage. I'm playing like dog water, because up until this point, I hadn't played BT3 since getting footage for the last video. And I was really rusty, because I had just played a fuck ton of Sparking Zero on my Xbox controller. And then I was moving over to playing BT3 on my GameCube controller. And the button inputs were fucking me over. The hand feel of the controllers was fucking me over. It's not mid. A lot of people say it's not mid, and then they don't provide any argument for why they think it's, you know... I had a lot of people say, like, I liked the game, these are the reasons I liked the game, and they just left it at that. And that's fine. If you want to say the game is mid... Sorry, if you want to say the game is not mid, I expect you to defend the game and actually give me a reason so we can have some sort of dialogue. Instead of just saying, like, oh, the game is mid, and then, like, leaving it there. Dragon Ball Sagas. Ugh. I should force one of my friends to play Dragon Ball Sagas with me one day. That'd be funny. Get on Super Dragon Ball Z. Super Dragon Ball Z is really fun. It has a lot of customization. You can change the colors of your character, and it's really fun. It's a really fun fighting game. It is a fighting game, but it's really fun, I promise. Like, it's not like a Dragon Ball fan service-y game. It's an actual fighting game, but it's really good. Patched with time. Okay. I got a lot of comments about the game being patched with time that I didn't, like, put in the video for some reason. I was gonna, like, slideshow them, and I forgot to do that, but... whatever. Oh, this is low-key my favorite segment, because I point out all these games that came before BT3 that, you know, released as full games and didn't have to, you know, use DLC to, you know... didn't have to use DLC to, like, legitimize itself, or, you know, didn't have to be patched with time or whatever. This list is so funny now, because it's, you could go back, and a lot of these franchises, yes, will now actually nickel and dime every penny out of you. Mario, does, like, oh, Nintendo as a whole does this now. They nickel dime you a fuck ton for Switch Online, and especially with the news, like the Switch 2, and the fact that actually, if you just want to play Mario 64 now legally, it's really hard to do. Tekken, I don't know if Tekken nickel and dimes you. I'm not a Tekken guy. Resident Evil, I'm not really sure. I know Capcom does a lot of stuff, like buying in-game currencies or in-game revives. Not exactly like MTX, but like you can do that. I'd prefer you didn't, like that option wasn't available, but it's like a completely optional thing, so whatever. Virtua Fighter, I don't really know anything about. I put Virtua Fighter in because I felt like I needed some fighting games to put in here. San Andreas, GTA does nickel and dime you. Like you can, there's the whole microtransaction thing for the online mode and all the DLCs that make GTA Online a bit more fun. I haven't bought any of the DLCs for GTA Online because there's so fucking many. But also because I just kind of wanted to do heists, and heists were fun, and everything else on GTA Online was kind of boring. Does Metal Gear Solid nickel and dime you in modern day? I mean, there was Survive. Survive was pretty bad. There was all the DLC stuff for Phantom Pain, for like the online mode, but you could ignore all of that. You know, it was like costume packs and stuff, but then there was also like other stuff for the online. I don't know. I didn't get to play that much of MGO online during its heyday. So, GoldenEye is dead, unfortunately. Rest in peace. I mean, it came back on Switch Online, I guess, but it's ass. I don't know if Crash Bandicoot, Nickel and Dime 2, Half-Life. Valve are doing some really interesting things, especially with Counter-Strike at the moment. Not interesting as in good, interesting as in bad. But in terms of, like, Half-Life, Half-Life's not really nickel and diming. I don't think so, at least. Zelda, fucking Tears of the Kingdom was a scam. Moving on. Quake, I don't know. I remember a lot of people were not liking Quake Champions, but I don't remember why. I don't know if there's, like, some MTX thing with that. God of War is just good. Halo Infinite, the king of nickel and diming. We don't have to get into Halo Infinite. The game that is so dog shit, but is somehow doing better than Sparking Zero at the moment. It's really funny. Smash is a nickel and diming. You can make the argument with Smash's, like, Smash Ultimate's DLC. I won't. Like, it's a fighting game. Fighting games are in a weird spot where they just release a lot of DLC characters now, and that kind of sucks. But, you know. You could argue that they should just be in the game. But, you know, usually a fighting game, like Smash, like a platform fighter. Smash is a good example where, you know, it usually has a lot of content in it to play. I'd say the content there is to choose from arguably peaked in Brawl, and we've been getting, you know, Smash 4 after that didn't really have a lot of content. Single-player content, I'd say. Or even multiplayer content. And then Smash Ultimate was a bit better than Smash 4 with World of Light and stuff like that, but, you know. You know. Yeah, reboot. I don't know where you people got the reboot argument from. That was actually crazy. This is what I was talking about earlier, when people will just, like, speculate on shit, like, unsubstantiated claims. I feel like a YouTuber at some stage may have said that the game was a reboot, and then another YouTuber may have said it. Another YouTuber may have said that, and then, like, a bunch of people would have claimed that. Or it could have been, like, a poorly translated interview or something, but I've never heard any of the dev team or anyone else say the game is a reboot. I've heard people on Reddit say the game is a reboot. Reddit isn't a fucking credible source, so I'm going off what the game says. If game trailers or interview devs fully translated say the game is a reboot, then the game is a reboot. I have seen none of that. Okay? I've seen none, like, I've seen no developers, no people who worked on the game interviewed, no game trailers or descriptions or whatever say the game is a reboot. So, the game is ostensibly the next game in the series. I think a lot of people get the idea that the game is a reboot because it's not reusing assets like the previous game, but, like, of course it's not going to reuse assets. Their games are like 17 or whatever, however many years it was apart. Be so for real. So for real. Fuck, 17-year-old. 17 years away. It's crazy. I'm not going to talk about the Masako stuff, because it is kind of upsetting. I need to look more into the relationship Masako Nozawa has with voicing Goku, because obviously, like, she obviously loves the character, but at the same time, like, geez, she does so much for this franchise. I have to wonder if she actually still enjoys voicing Goku after all this time. I don't know. I have to... This was honestly a gamble putting Future Gohan and Bardock here, because I didn't check whether they, whether they had, like, reused voice lines or whatnot. I don't know about Bardock. I don't think Bardock does, but I wouldn't be surprised if Future Gohan does. But, who knows? Who knows? What were these? Oh, the Universe 6 stuff, yeah. Universe 6 stuff sucks. would have liked the Universe 6 stage or whatever. I think it's fucking hilarious that in a Gohan What If, you see Gohan fight hit, and in the Goku one, you see none of it. You don't even see Goku fight hit. I do want to say as well, this fucking shit baits you so bad. This shit baits you so bad because you think you're primed to get into this battle because it hangs here and then it zooms in and does like the fade away thing. And you're like, holy shit, I'm gonna be Gohan fighting hit. And then it just, whoop, after the battle. After the battle. That's such a gaslight, dude. Yeah, this guy getting killed. How the hell do you play Tenkaichi 3 on Wii? Came out on the Wii. This guy... Oh, fucking... I don't want to say I hate Americans because you guys make up more than half of my fucking YouTube audience, but holy shit. I'm so sorry. So many of you are so heavily opinionated on how video games should be. About how the American price is the right price. And I get it, right? America... I'm speaking out of my ass here. America probably makes up a large percent of the audience. But, like, fuck off. That shit is so stupid. That shit actually pisses me off so much. That's why I depicted you as the sad American Wojak, and why you probably deserve... No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. Not everyone in America is a fucking blithering idiot. Not everyone in America deserves to have this happen to their economy. But holy shit, dude. Bro thought he was cooking with this, and then, like, learned later on what local currency is, and... fucking idiot. What pisses me off is, like, okay... I don't talk about it a lot in the video, because it's, like, politics stuff, and I hate talking about politics, because I'm not smart. Fucking... I, like, kind of hand-wave mention cost of living, and... the recent kind of mini financial crisis we had in Australia, which the rest of the world had. This was before tariffs. The whole world was having a cost of living moment. And, all in all, Australia came out pretty good at the end of it, of the cost of living. Like, if you compare every country to each other, Australia came out pretty good. We managed pretty well. But, yeah, fucking, I mentioned those things, and this guy has the audacity to say that we get the game $10 cheaper than the US. It's a Japanese game, dude. And also, so what? You know, like, some countries, like Brazil, get games super expensive. Like, for them, it is literally, do I buy a game, or do I pay, like, a month's worth of rent? You are such a dickhead. Grow the fuck up. Learn how economy works, dude. I don't care about the US price of a game. Especially, like, a Japanese game. I care about my price, the Australian price. Because that's the one I'm spending the fucking money on, you idiot. You're actually so stupid. Oh, my god. Okay, I'm gonna calm down a little. Sorry. Sorry. The Donald Trump movie tariff thing is really funny. Because that's how movies work, obviously. This guy wanted to kill himself. I hope you didn't. I hope you got good at Sparking Zero, dude. I really hope you did. Don't kill yourself. Is the game recommended for me? Yeah, same opinion. If you didn't have an issue with any of the things that I complained about in the first video or this video, you will probably like Sparking Zero. And that's not a diss at you. If you enjoy this type of game, that's fine. That's fine. I have nothing against you if you enjoy this game. Okay, now we get into the fight. The fighty. Got our impact frames here. Yeah, so you can see as early as here, I'm mixing elements. So, like, we got, like, the body is a separate element and the head is a separate element. I do want to say, actually, before working on the main part of the video, I made the intro, and I made the... Oh, I just froze Vegas. Okay, there we go. I made the intro and I made the outro sections, and then I made everything in between. I thought the video was going to be like half an hour long, because I did a original recording of the script, and it came out to somewhere like half an hour long. The script was more of a fucking suggestion than a script than like structure at that stage. I recorded the whole thing out, and it was something like half an hour, and then I slapped the ending fight. Like, I mapped out the ending fight. And then I did that. I made the ending fight at, like, the 30-minute mark, and I finished it, and then I did all of this, and realized, holy shit, I have to move everything back. So I moved everything back, and it broke a lot of animations, and I had to spend, like, hours fixing it all, which was really funny. Where are we? Yeah. Yeah, so... Still, I love how this looks. Yeah. I'm gonna ignore how shit my voice acting is. I'm not a voice actor. So... There's a very interesting thing here, where it's like... Do I do what I did in the last video, where I have me fight the Sparking Zero game case? Or do I try and make it a bit different? And I was thinking for a long time, how do I make it different? I was thinking a lot of different ways. I was thinking, well, do I just do what I did in the last video? Do I give the case more defined limbs? Like... Do I give it, like, shoulders? Do I give it, like, biceps? I'm actually... Hold on. I'm gonna just restart the music, because it's going through... It was going through some of the licensed tracks that I know get caught up in the YouTube copyright, like a lot of the openings and the endings. Chala Hetrala gets copyright claimed, like, immediately. It's fucking crazy. So yeah, I was thinking, do I give it, like, more defined limbs and do, like, actual puppet animation? Like, do I give it shoulders, biceps, forearms, and then arms, and then, like, legs? Do I give it, like, do I give it thighs, then quads? Do I give it thighs, then calves, then feet? Yeah, I give it a big old human foot. And I thought, no, that's gonna be, like, too silly. And then I thought, well, what if I just take a bunch of Goku clips, mask them out completely, like, mask them out of their backgrounds, and then replace all of the insides with a collage of the comments. And I thought about that, and I thought that sounded pretty cool, but I didn't want to do Goku. Because I did the Goku voice. I did Masuko Nozawa's voice for the game in the last video. And I didn't want to retread old ground. So then I thought, well, what if I did Broly? And doing Broly was actually a really good idea. Because instead of doing Goku, where I'd have to get stills from, like, all across the fucking series, and it would become way more of a job to, like, plan it all out, if I did Broly... I'm basically locked to the first two Broly movies. Like, I think that's movie 8 and movie 9, I think? Sorry, sorry. Movie 8 and movie 10. So the Broly Legendary Super Saiyan and then fucking Broly Returns or whatever. Somehow Broly returned. And then I could just cut out all of Broly's movements. And that is... Well, that's exactly what I did. If I go into comment person, Broly, you can see my original plan, and I didn't put too much thought into how I was going to do this. My original plan was I was going to screenshot every frame of Broly, which I did do. I did screenshot every frame of Broly. And then I was going to bring it into paint.net, cut out the background, use the magic wand tool to remove all of his, like, skin color, and then save that as a transparent PNG. And then I was going to put it into Vegas, and then put this lovely comment collage that I had made behind it. So I screenshotted everything of Broly, And I was trying that, and I ran into a problem. And the problem was, I would need to make a mask for the... like, if I put the thing on the screen, like the Broly, and then I put the collage behind it, the collage becomes the background. I would need to cut around the collage for every scene of Broly, and it'd be really hard and annoying to do and time-consuming. So, what I did instead... we'll get there when I get there, but I just want to talk about... I'm happy with how all this looks. This is like, some of the only stuff in the ending that isn't referenced from, like, Dragon Ball. Like, okay, this is, like, referenced. But when I mean referenced, I mean kind of, like... It's not, like, traced over. I traced over a lot of... I used a lot of stuff, I should say, from the original series and, like, masked it out. And you'll see. And then there was some, like, effect stuff that I traced over. So, a lot of this stuff is, like, pure creativity. Like, some of this is referenced from the original Broly transformation. But, like, framing and all that is, like, my own stuff. I was really happy with the idea of having Broly emerge from the game case, even though this one's kind of jank. I couldn't figure out how to make it look good because his head is, like, kind of cut off. This one I'm happy with, looks kind of fine. Then we transform into the legendary Super Saiyan Broly. So, yeah. So, instead of doing the word, so the paint.net thing, what I did was, give me a sec. What I did was I chroma keyed Broly. I did a very lazy chroma key mask. Sorry, give me a second, chat. Heard something. Sorry, I thought I heard something. So I chroma keyed Broly. So I took the cuts, I put a really shoddy chroma key filter on him because I thought it was funny, and I put the collage behind him. And this had some ups and downs. The first down is that it kind of looks like shit, but the upside is that it became way faster to actually make this thing. If I didn't do this, this video would not be out. Not that it would take like ages and ages and ages, I would have just fucking quit. I wouldn't have done it. It was too much work for... You know, I would have gotten, like, nothing out of it. Oh, there's some interesting stuff here, actually. So, the hands. So, because we're cutting from a bunch of different Yoshi renders, the colors are ever-changing. So, I'm having to color correct. So, this is the arm. See, it's a lot more of this fucking kind of... normal greenish color as opposed to the Smash Ultimate render, which is a little desaturated. So I had to, well, I just had to desaturate it a bit. And also, so I had to do that for every, like, instance of when I used, like, different color arms and stuff. And then also, I had to create a soft mask around the edges of the arm so that they have this, like, fade-off effect, because if I didn't do that, it just gives you that sharp edge, which looks kind of bad. And you'll see that I left those sharp edges in the, like, original video, like, the first one. Especially in that part where he's doing, like, the Kamehameha, and it's, like, the side angle. I just look very jaggery, and I just decided not to do it. This was a late edition, which is why it's literally just these two renders, because I got so bored. Here we are. Okay, this is why the video was doable at all, and why it was so fun. You know, why it wouldn't have taken me, like, 10 million years... had I done it in the original way I wanted to do it, which is paint.net. I had to mask Broly out for every one of these scenes. So every one of these scenes is a mask where I've masked him out from the background, the original background. And the reason that this was good is I could copy these frames, like these masks, and then just put them on the... Ooh, that's not the right one. And then I could just put them on the... thing. So this is with the mask off, the collage is just there. And this is with the mask on, and the collage is there. I wish I could have actually moved the collage, so it gives the impression that the comments are getting like bigger and bigger, you know, as Broly's moving into the camera. But if I tried to do that, it wouldn't really work, because of the mask. So I just left it as full screen. If you're wondering why there's gaps here, it's because the Broly movie has a different aspect ratio to 16:9. It might be 16:10, I'm not entirely sure. So when I mask something like this, and when I copy paste it onto the collage, it looks weird, and I didn't really bother to try and fix it because I didn't really care that much. The whole thing looks jank, so I thought the more jank, the more comedic and funny it would be. I should have done more for this scene. I should have, well, this cut, I should have added in these dust things that were in the original cut. I didn't do it for some reason. I think I was just lazy. Alright. So you can see here, we've got some puppet animation going on. So there's a lot going on here. So first of all, both arms are like segmented. The body is its own thing. The head is its own thing. This cut was referenced. A lot of these cuts, animation timings, are referenced from the Broly movie. So this one is referenced from when Goku is like about to punch Broly or whatever. From this point onward, it is. I think the animation timings are referenced. This one, the poses aren't referenced because I wasn't doing that yet. Some of the poses are a bit referenced. Like, a lot of the posing is referenced, but a lot of the posing is referenced, but I am also making some poses on the fly that fit the Yoshi, like, model. But yeah, got him, like, going around here. These are all different things as well. Trying to, like, match the framing with the, when the animation does it. That one's actually all off time by a frame. This is one of the things that happened when I moved everything back. So everything should move on this frame of Broly moving. But it doesn't. It's a frame late. Even though I'm pretty sure if I open this... Yeah, if I open this, the keyframe to move is there, but they don't do it because it's there. It's because this project is 60 FPS, whereas when I put all these in and edit them over here, when I move them all back, the animation timings get mixed up. It doesn't look too bad, and I mean, obviously I didn't notice it, so... Oh, I wish I noticed this one, though. You see the body moves first and then the head? That's not supposed to be like that. That's actually really annoying, because I did fix this scene for these cuts. This cut here, Broly would move first, and then the head would move after, like, one frame and then one frame, when they're meant to be at the same time. I'm actually super annoyed that I didn't notice that, because it works, like, here. Damn. Well, that's in the video forever now. Yes, this is referenced. Then I do my own thing here, where this is my own original timing. And I think there's a mistake. Oh, yeah, you can see it in the flesh there. I didn't notice this one either. The arms move first, and then the body and the head. That's super annoying. Oh, there's a gap that... That's really annoying that I didn't notice that. Okay. Well, that's some of the stuff that happened when I... Oh, that makes the whole animation look so weird now. This animation used to look really good, actually. I think I've got a cut. I've got a previous cut that I could show. I was doing, like, pre-rendered cuts. I was doing pre-rendered cuts and sending them to my friends, always, because they were interested in how the video was coming along. So I can actually show you this cut. How it was more intended to look. I think it looks a little bit better. Like, the timing is a bit snappier, instead of being, like, every other frame or whatever. Whatever. It's fine. We've got this. So I'm cutting between shots here where Broly's in his legendary Super Saiyan state and when he's not. The reason being I needed a shot where Broly gets punched. And I completely forgot there was a shot kind of like this. But, you know, this is just what we decided. This is what I decided on. I color corrected his hair, at least, to Oh, shit, I didn't chroma key this part. Fuck! Okay, we'll get to that. I color corrected his hair to be more green. I couldn't get it to the same values as, like, you know, how it is in here, but, yeah, trying to keep it kind of consistent. Impact frames were always a joy, even though these are, like, barely really... I'm just making things black and white. This shot is actually really interesting, and I'm now really pissed that I didn't chroma key it, and I didn't pick it up before I hit render, because I made a note to myself to do this, and I knew I would have missed this one, because it's a series of PNGs instead of a sequence. So, I'll tell you why. In this original sequence, Trunks is... It's like Kid Trunks. This is from the second Broly movie. Kid Trunks is kicking Broly. And it's his foot here. I couldn't use this scene originally because, you know, Kid Trunks... The Yoshi foot didn't completely cover up Kid Trunks' foot. So, what do you do, right? What do I do? How do I fix this? I just removed Kid Trunks from the shot. Really shoddily, I matched different parts of the body from different cuts of animation. Like this body here, it's just this one, but I like dragged it down. Part of it, at least. Some of this is from the OG, some of it isn't. The hair here, that would have been... Not here. The hair here, that's covered by Kid Trunks. I just took the strand from, like, here or somewhere and brushed it in. You can see where I've, like, brushed with the paint tool because there's no grain. I didn't simulate any grain. And there's still, like, cutouts here. Like, it looks really rough, but in motion, I think it looks fine. And also because I was originally going to do this one, and I tried stitching together, like, I tried doing this scene where Goku kicks Broly sideways. Oh, I just opened PCSX2. Whoopsies, didn't mean to do that. I tried stitching together the frames here, and I couldn't get it to work. Because they're different frames of animation. I couldn't create a long... I couldn't create, like, a long kind of, like, panorama thing. I couldn't get it to work. So I just... And this one was, like... I think I did make, like... Oh, I did make one long panorama one. And I was, like... Like, it looked fine, but I wouldn't have been able to completely cut out Goku's leg with the Yoshi one, and I wouldn't be able to build Broly's anatomy back up and look good, because I'm not that good at anatomy. I'm not an artist or whatever. So. Yeah. I'm really pissed that I forgot to chroma key this, though. I think part of me subconsciously didn't want to chroma key this, though, because I was really proud of cutting out Trunks, and that, like, this all looked so good. But... whatever. Oh yeah, just the kind of animation there. A very jank turnaround. Could have done better with that, but I didn't. This is something I wish I did a lot more, but I, like, forgot. I forgot to implement this. This scene and this... Oh, sorry, this cut and this cut have a gradient to give a bit of shading to the collage. So you can see it's lighter here and darker here. And then I reinforce that with, like, greener here and then lighter here. I wish I did that a lot more because it gives it a little bit more depth. Whereas here it kind of gets, like, a bit lost. I forgot to do it. It was one of those things where I told myself I'm going to do this for every shot, and then I forgot to do it. Oh, you can see an instance there where the aura isn't keeping up with Broly. Lol. Yeah, that's a thing of dragging everything back. And it, like, breaking the animation timing. Yeah, this is, whatever. Good little Yoshi impact frame here. I thought that was, for anyone who noticed that, I thought that was enjoyable. Random green screen explosion. I did this random green screen explosion because in the original shot, this smoke is really detailed, and I didn't want to mask all of it because I'm fucking lazy. So I just didn't. I just did that. Yeah, so again, a lot of the animation timings, and for this one especially, positioning, is based off of, fucking hell. Based off of, this cut of Gohan falling. Ignore this. This is just because I dragged the clip. You can see, like, here, the timing, and then, like, here, the timing, and it's like, wow. I had to make changes at some spots, obviously, but that's just, you know, how it is. Yep, Energy Blast. I think, oh, there's another, yeah, you can see there. Head moves first. Head moved first because it was a new object. Body hasn't caught up yet. Now it's caught up. Damn, I wish I noticed that beforehand. Because, like, it was fine for the rest of it. Oh, no, but you can see the hand in the back there. Damn. Okay. That's kind of annoying. I wish I had noticed that. This Broly fly-around shot. Oh, yeah. This is one of my favorite ideas. Because I wanted to use this cut of Broly, and I'm like, how the fuck do I put him behind him? Oh, dude, I'll do an instant transmission. And I'm glad that it looks so good. It's a bitch to preview. Vegas gets really laggy whenever I do, like, blurs and stuff, which is hilarious. I'm glad how good that looks. And then, like, the fucking... Hell yeah. What do we got here? I'm sorry. There's a deform effect on here when he turns around, so that's why it gets really laggy. Oh, this Broly in the background. Okay. So, where is it? This one. So it's this cut of Broly, like, coming down and, like, attacking the bed. You can see in this original shot, though, like, he's obstructed, right? He's obstructed by Goku, obstructed by the bed, more by Goku, and then the bed, and then there's not really a shot of him after that. So what did I do? Well, I just made a new drawing by stitching together elements of the previous drawing. So from, like, this skirt and this leg to this bit of the, like, shoulder here is all one coherent thing. And then from here, this bit of the arm is from a different cut, and this hand, and like the ring here. And you can tell because I've, like, resized it, so you've got fucking homunculus hand. Sorry, I'll be right back, chat. Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, this leg here is just this leg, but I resized it and shaped it around a little bit so you wouldn't be able to tell. And yeah, I made a little coherent Broly render that could just fly down past the Yosh. And it flies so fast that you don't notice that it's, like, jank as fuck. So, that's fine. Ah, now this. Oh, I did actually use this render. I didn't think I used this body. But I did. And it actually doesn't look terrible. This is one of the earliest bits of the ending I did, because I just wanted to see if it was possible. I think if I go back... this is one of the parts that my friend group was, like, the most impressed that I could fucking do. Which was funny. Yeah, I had this part of the animation ready on the 20th of the 3rd. The 20th of the 3rd is when I made this animation. Keep in mind, it had no sound effects or anything, but let me just, let me show you real quick. So I've been cooking this ending section for like 2 to 3 months at this point. Look at that. And then obviously, as the story developed, I would color correct him to yellow and then to red. And add the aura in the background and the sound effects and everything. So now's probably a good time to mention how did I actually, like, structure this. So what I did is, I put down the unedited clips of Broly, and struck the like in my head I imagined the poses and stuff I could pull off with the Yosh and how I would want to do that. And then I made markers in the Vegas timeline, and I would write like, oh, Yosh power up or something. So I knew what I was doing, and then I would I would just animate it, and it was very freeform in nature. Oh yeah, I got the color gradient. This was a very late addition, but I noticed in the Broly movie that, like, in this specific cut I'm referencing, which this is a reference Goku cut, when he does his Kamehameha in the Broly movie, that looks really funny with the NTSC filter I have on. That's giving you guys a bunch of colors. That's giving you greens, reds, purples. That's interesting. Yeah, in the Broly cut, everything kind of goes a bit blue when he charges this one. Not to the extent that I have done, but I thought that would be really interesting. It did kind of mask one of my favorite parts of this cut, though, which was I did this color gradient here, and I set it to change intensities and color. I guess I just got it to change color. I got it to change color because I knew that he was going to be charging the Kamehameha. So I'm like, what if I put a color gradient here that changes color, and that kind of like is like the ball charging, which I'm now noticing on the filter that I've got on screen right now looks fucking awful. But in the video, if you watch it, you can see. So that kind of got muted out by, like, it's still there, but not to the same extent. So that was kind of upsetting. But the filter, the gradient map, I put at the end. I think it was a net positive. And there's also a little gradient here that gets moved the closer the Kamehameha gets to Broly, which you can kind of see. So I thought I'd add something like that. Yeah, this is just masked animation from the Broly movie. Although, I had to place a rock here. Oh, and there's actually a frame where you can see it. Okay, well that's why. In the original animation, there's a bit of, like, debris or whatever that's obstructing the blast. I'm actually pissed I didn't notice that, though. And then it's meant to obstruct it there. So this is meant to stretch on. Ooh. Sorry. I've still got everything all grouped together from when I originally dragged it across. So that's meant to stay there for, like, another frame and then get eaten up. That's annoying. Oh, well. And then, oh yeah, and then there's some, like, foreground rocks here as well. These are, like, 2 different rocks that I had to place here because that's what the animation did. This is one of the only beams that I didn't... Like, this is only one of the only things that I did that was full of creativity. I didn't trace this beam from anywhere. This is me trying my best to, like, make a sort of beam-looking blobby thing. I thought it looked alright. For my first time trying something like this, I thought it was pretty cool. We've got some dust, smoke. We've got some smoke, green screen shit that I color corrected to look more like, you know, orangey combat dust. I'm not super happy with how it looked, but I needed something there to kind of, like, hard transition into this shot. Which, this shot's really funny. Okay, so. Of course, I masked Broly out. And for the smoke, I wanted to keep the smoke, but I didn't want to have to mask out the smoke because I knew it was going to be annoying. So what I did was where are we at? Here. I color selected... Wait, or is it this one? That's one of these. Fuck. Wait, what? Okay. I didn't mask this out, did I? No, I didn't mask out this one. Oh, I had the wrong thing selected. My bad. So what I did... Is this what I did? Hold on. Yeah, okay. So what I did was I color selected the smoke, and then I inverted the mask, and then I set it to alpha. So it got rid of the background. Kinda. It didn't get rid of everything, so I had to clean it up with a bit of, like, chroma key stuff, just to get rid of specific colors that were persisting. And then I put some color corrector on to make it more orangey, because we're in the wasteland. But yeah, it looked... I'm happy with how that looked. Got, grabbing the guy. Bringing him up. This is where I use that tennis one. And I think this was a good spot to use it because it's so far away from the camera that you can't see the posterizing of it. So, yeah, just fucking squirm a little. The subtitles, I always had this dialogue in, but I never knew what I was going to put there until I wrote it, and I'm very happy that I came up with "You should not have known the power." You should have known better than to challenge the power of a fan base that can't read. Because we're calling back to the fan base thing, but this is also a really obscure jab at those old anime subtitle VHSs you could get of Dragon Ball that just had horrid shit written in them, like slurs and curses and shit that was nowhere close to what the anime was actually saying. So that's great. Oh, fuck this cut. Okay. So originally in this cut, Broly lets go of Goku, but Broly's fingers are obscured by Goku's hair. So I cut out, like, each individual finger and tried to, like, place it on the head, but it didn't really work. So what I ended up doing was I cut out one finger, and I just pasted it a couple times, and, like, moved it accordingly. And these look kind of jank, and I don't care, because in motion, it kind of works. And you can see the cuts and stuff where there's, like, chroma keying. I don't care. I don't care. It works. It looks fine. It's on frame for, like, 8 frames. Who cares? It's on frame. It's on screen for, like, 8 frames. Yeah, this thing, whatever. Wow. Why did I need 3 fucking... Oh, I know why. Yeah. This idea of Broly trying to, like, destroy the land. So I needed something to put in between, you know, Yosh getting curb stomped and Yosh doing the Spirit Bomb. So I thought I'd take this bit where in the movie Broly just goes rampant and destroys a bunch of shit. And I thought we'd just do that because I thought that was funny. Yeah, that's just a green screen explosion. I'm weirdly I'm obsessed with this cut I did where the ball... Where's the ball? Oh, it's just really fast. The ball comes down and causes this explosion. And I've got... It's just like a ball, right? I've just made a gradient and have made, like, master ball, and it just gets bigger and smaller and bigger and smaller. But then these, like, pencil, like... These really thin and thick spikes I put in just make it look so good. And then I do it again in the background. And I just love how it looks. It lags like shit to actually preview. But I love how it looks. And I love how before it's fine, and then when the explosions happen, the color grade gets all fucked. I love it. This was funny. Okay. I want to talk about this a little. IGN put out their review of Sparking Zero, and a lot of people thought IGN were being disingenuous and, like, bastards because we all hate IGN for some reason. I thought IGN's review of the game was fine. Partly. I think a little misguided in comparing it to more contemporary traditional fighting games. But I think they saw the same thing that I saw, which is that this game was going for an online focus. I think a lot of people hang shit on IGN. There's things to hang shit on IGN for, which are fair and valid. This review was not one of them. This review was fair. And they gave it a 7 out of 10. Which is average. This game is average, alright? I think it should have been lower, but a 7 out of 10 is 7 out of 10. I didn't know how to really do this building falling apart, so I just put in a video I found of a similar looking building that was, like, demolished. I was contemplating putting the Twin Towers, but I'm pretty sure that would have gotten my video demonetized, so I went against that. Yeah, this is the original Sparking Zero review, and then I went... The way I did this, I went to the IGN review, I went into, like, inspect element, and I just changed the elements, so I changed this to a 10, I changed the title to Game of the Year, and then the review to This is the best game I've ever played. In hindsight, I wish I added a bit more spaces, so the spacing was how it was in the original thing, so the morph tool looked a bit better. But, yeah, that's just how it was. What do we got here? Sorry, I just got an email. This is one of the only Broly cuts where I didn't mask out the background because, are you fucking kidding me? Look how much work this would have been done. I think if I go into here, yeah, you can see I tried. I tried to mask out the background. I did the mask for like what would have been the loop, and then I tried to copy and paste it and resize it, and it just wasn't working. I couldn't get it to work. It would have been a bastard to do. So I just turned the mask off, put the chroma key on. I'm like, well, he's in the sky, so, and the background in this cut is literally just the color blue. So it's fine. It works. It works. It works. I think it works, at least. I was fucking sure that this would have got me copyright claimed or striked, though, because apart from the chroma key getting rid of Broly's skin, this is literally just like a still from the Broly movie. And I was sure that I was going to get claimed for that because it was in full screen. I thought YouTube's content ID would have fucked me sideways. But it didn't, so I'm happy for that. I'm happy about that. Really laughing. Here we go. So I had this idea for the Spirit Bomb pretty early on, but I was going to use a different song. I was going to use the song that plays when Goku charges the Spirit Bomb against Kid Buu and when he eventually, like, fires it. But that whole sequence was going to be about, like, 3 or 4 minutes, because that song is fucking long. And so eventually I realized that, like, especially when I was animating all this section, I'm like, this is going to be too long. We need to wrap it up. Especially because I think this whole ending sequence is something like, what, 7 minutes? I think? Yeah, it's like 7 minutes. I went fucking crazy. So I changed the song to Goku Invincible Fighting Spirit, which is from the Broly movie, so it felt a kind of bit more thematically relevant if you knew the context. And I did this. And I thought the idea of using all the positive comments for the Spirit Bomb was funny. So, you know, this is all new. I didn't trace this animation or anything. Coming, bang, bang, bang. And then, of course, we're taking the idea from the Android 13 movie where Goku absorbs the Spirit Bomb, but I'm using it now, so get fucked. It's such a stupid idea that you can do that. Like, okay. Kind of badass, but kind of also fucking stupid. Alright, the Super Saiyan 3 hair. Oh god. This was a nightmare to animate, dude. But I did it anyway. The Super Saiyan 3 hair was a really late idea in production. Because I was animating all this stuff at the end, and I'm like, it's missing something. Because I was originally just going to make him blue. Right? Like, he's absorbed the Spirit Bomb energy, he's now blue. But I thought, no, this is the ending, it needs to be big, it needs to be memorable. So, lo and behold, we got Super Saiyan 3 Yosh. I hope you all enjoyed it. There's not really much more to talk about, really. I mean, yeah, more masked Broly. There's all the rocks and stuff here. I'm just trying to go ham here. A lot of this is just referencing the animation and the animation timings from the final part of the Broly movie. Adding my own spin on things here and there. When I dragged the animation back and all the animation timings got fucked up, this was one of the most painful parts to fix because there was so many, like, little bits moving here. Like, you know, there's the hair, there's the body. For cuts like this, there's, like, many arms, many heads. Fuck, it was just annoying. This cut was annoying, though, because this is where Goku punches Broly. And the way I did it was I masked out Goku's hand, and then I put the looped animation, like a clean slate, underneath. And it's very janky, because the animations don't mix completely, as you can see. But I think it works fine enough. And we break into here. I had to I had to color correct this bit underneath to be, like, kind of green. And it still looks really jank, because it doesn't match or anything. But we're just doing that. I also... This is Goku's wristband here. And I didn't want to mask it out because it would have been fun. I did it in this one. I didn't do it in this one because I didn't notice it, but also because I was really fucking tired of masking out these blobby bits. They were just annoying, so I just didn't. So you can see Goku's wristband in every frame of that, apart from the last two where it's fully in Broly. He's fisting Broly. Oh no, it's right there, isn't it? I don't know. Who cares? I was gonna put in the shot where it's like it pulls out to the wide shot of like Goku punching Broly into the air, but it was gonna be too much masking work, and I was gonna have to resize the Yoshi in such a ridiculous way that it just wouldn't have looked good. So I decided against it. Decided hard cut to here. The realization is getting punched through, and then like launched in. Much easier. Now. Everything from this point out is referencing the second Broly movie, so this is where Gohan jumps back after breaking free from Broly. Obviously, the pose is completely new, but like the animation timing is based off that. And then this stuff is as referenced as can be. So, something that's kind of interesting here that I had to do whenever I did a Kamehameha was, I had to make a duplicate of the hand and mask out only the, like, the thumbs, like the bits that be in front of the bowl. Because otherwise it would just, like, look weird. So that was kind of interesting. I did that back in the, sorry, just to go back a minute. I did that all the way over here with, this one. Like, there's multiple masks of the hands where it's just the thumb, or, like, the thumb part, like, the parts that would be in front of the bowl, to make it look like he's actually holding the bowl. There's a lot more work that goes into that than I thought there would be. There's a lot more work into making the Kamehameha actually look like it's being held. Just a bunch of stuff you take for granted in animation. And then, you know, the pullback here, I'm still very happy with how all this looks. Obviously, I'm referencing the poses and the animation timing a lot. But I'm just glad that it looks good and that the animation is, like, readable. You know, for being a bunch of segmented PNGs that move across the screen. I'm really glad that it looks good. That's, like, all I could have hoped for. All I could have wished for. And then the impact frames and the pullback. I specifically chose not to hang on this for too long because it would have been a fucking bitch to animate. Yeah. This Kamehameha beam is completely traced from the second Broly movie. Up to here, where this is all just loop stuff I did. The background was a bitch to, like, actually make look good, but even then it still doesn't look that good, but I'm fine with that. Yeah, this is all traced animation from the second Broly movie. Which, this section really doesn't like to play, like, preview at all. Yeah, my computer's not the best, so I was doing all of this with a really laggy preview window, not really knowing how it would look until I did, like, test renders and stuff. I still think it looks fine. And then this is just, yeah, chroma key. I color corrected the green blood he has in the original to red. I don't know why he had green blood. Color corrected to red. Fade out. There we go. And then we get to the end. And I chose not to add any sound effects here when he falls or, like, whatever, apart from the steps, like, fading out. Because I really wanted to just focus in on the music. Like, I thought that was a nice touch. And then we got, like, a couple bits of silence. This is where the video was originally going to end. And then I remembered I'd set up channel memberships, and I haven't really talked about channel memberships in any video. I've talked about it in a couple streams when I was still streaming Nuzlocke. But I hadn't really talked about it in a video yet, so I thought I'd mention it here. There's not much else here. And then there's Fee. I'll play Fee's bit, because I know she'll love it.
Oh no, another Nintendo kitty. Come back when your balls drop, little bro.
It's really funny. And then the music, like, fading out, like, right after that as well.
Oh.
It's just perfect. I love it. I love it. So that's that. Let me just check my assets folder real quick to see if there's any other, like, interesting piece of, I don't know, anything. Interesting anything that could be interesting to glean. No, I mean, there's all the backgrounds and stuff. The comment person. I mean, yeah, there's just a bunch of... There's a bunch of assets in this folder that are from, they're from, like, they're holdovers from the first video, which I just kept. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, like, this timeline is fucking insane. There's so much, this is just, like, the vocal audio stuff. Like, so all my recording and all that, if I group that down, if I open everything else that has to do with the sound, like, it's a fucking mess down here, dude. I tried, because I got a lot of comments last time about how my sound mixing was dog shit and people couldn't hear what I was saying. So I really tried this time to balance the audio better. I think in the narration parts, my audio is fine now. I think in the combat parts, my audio is still kind of whatever, but I'm fine. And then I'm fine with it. I tested it on my headphones, and I tested it on my speakers. I can hear what I'm saying. Everything sounds fine-ish, so I'm not upset or anything about it. I think it's fine now. I'm sure, like, an audio guy will be able to, like, pull it apart more easily and tell me that I'm a fucking idiot or whatever, but that's fine. Yeah, but yeah, this timeline is fucking nuts, dude. This is fucking hell. I need to never do anything like this ever again. Because this was AIDS. This sucked. This sucked to edit. This took so long. This took almost, like, 3 months to make. Holy. Yeah, it took forever. It fucking took ages. So, I'm happy that it's done now. I'm happy that I get to move on to other projects. Like, better projects. Maybe not better, but I get to work on better projects. I'll give you guys just a really quick sneak peek at the subspace video. Real quick. The first subspace video is the one that will be next. I was working on the subspace video after, like, every stream. Of course, I was making the shorts. But I was working on the subspace video after every stream and the Sparking Zero video at the same time. And the problem I ran into was I was clipping so much footage from the subspace video that I was running out of space. And I had all this footage from the Sparking Zero video that I was hanging on to for the second one. So, yeah. Now I can delete all my Sparking Zero shit and I can fully commit to this fucking video. So this is the subspace video. It is not as crazy as the, it's not as crazy as the subspace video, because it's mainly just fucking stream highlights. There's some narration in here. There's some bits and bobs. This is like the first run. The first run, the structure so far is the first run is like a highlights reel of everything funny that happened in the first run. And then after that, it's a bit more structured. So it goes level by level. How do we beat these levels? What were the challenges? You know, what are the characters I'm using? What's the plan? There's funny, like, there's jokes and stuff. Frames where this bullshit is active. If they do it, the fucking mites. I hate the mites still. So, this video will come out first. Then I'm gonna push a bunch of shorts. I can show you actually. Hold on. Where are we up to? Recordings. Smash Brawl Nuzlocke. So, this is the Smash Brawl Nuzlocke video, right? This is about 135 gigabytes. This is everything for the first video. If I go into my other hard drive, where I have all my other recordings, you can see... I just gotta double check. Is there anything here that I don't want to show? I don't think so, but let me check. Yeah, okay, we're good. I'm gonna just have to... Yeah, okay. Everything else here, these are all... Some of these recordings, some of these replays, and it just goes on, and they're not sorted at all. And that's, like, what? That's 151 items. That's another 117 gigabytes. So I've got my work cut out for me. But I get to delete all the Sparking Zero stuff now. And I get to delete the fucking game. So I've just freed up like 200 gigabytes, I reckon. Currently, I'm up to editing the Forgotten Zoo. The Forgotten Zoo and the Battlefield Fortress are going to be the two big kind of like boss parts. They're going to be the last levels I talk about in this video. And then the next video is going to start with the forest. And it's probably going to go all the way to Research Facility 2. Because we beat that on, I think, the most recent stream, we beat that. So, yeah. So, the timeline, or the roadmap, the plan is going to be to finish this video. Finish a bunch of the YouTube shorts that I haven't finished yet. It's going to be... I need to remake a bunch of those YouTube shorts for TikTok as well. I have a TikTok that I should be uploading more to, but I haven't been. Because I'm stupid. So I need to do that. Then after I get the video, the shorts, and the TikToks out, I'm going to be back to regularly streaming this and trying to stay consistent with the shorts and the thing. I had a good streak when I started where I would do a stream and then I would do the shorts and I would release the shorts before I did the stream. Like I'd create a batch. But yeah, I need to get back on because that's where I was popping off and my numbers were going up. Number go up, make me happy. But oh shit. Hold on. So that's that. Let me, hold on. Let me deactivate this face cam. Let me move here. And let me put on this face cam. Hi! I had to make two different face cams in OBS. One with all the fuck-ass effects and one without. I think, yeah. If I delete this one, does that delete it from here? No. Okay, goody. Okay, video capture device. Sorry, I'm just fixing something real quick. There we go. Epic. Okay, so yeah, that's the stream. That's the editing showcase stream. Thank you so much for coming, whoever did, and for seeing, what I've been up to. If you guys find this kind of content interesting or like educational or whatever, I'll probably keep doing it. I do enjoy just talking about the editing process and the creative process a lot. So I'm happy to always do that. But yeah, I'm gonna get working on these videos now. And hopefully get back to streaming. Oh god, I hope... No promises, but I hope to get back to streaming in about a week or two. A week or two, I reckon I'd have all my shit together and I can get back to streaming. But we'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys there. I'm gonna mention the channel memberships again. If you would like to help out in any way, oops shit. If you would like to help out in any way, oh, I don't have the fucking. Whoops. Okay, we're gonna go back to this one for a second. If you'd like to help out in any way, channel memberships are here. You get a bunch of perks. I think it's $3 Australian. Like, it's $3 in Australian currency a month, which for you Americans, I think is like $1.50. So, if, like, if half my subscribers gave me $1 a month, I'd probably be able to do YouTube full-time. That'd be like $1,500 a month. I'd be able to do YouTube full-time off $1,500 a month. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to catch you guys later. I'm going to go start working on these videos. And, yeah, peace. Thanks for everything. Thanks for waiting. Ciao.